And earlier today I spoke to the Mayor of the city, Brad Carter. Brad Carter, what is the situation at the moment in Rockhampton?
We estimate that we've had about up to 500 people self-evacuate from their homes. We haven't had to initiate any forced evacuations at all, so that's a very good outcome. And we've probably got in excess of 120 people that are currently staying at the Emergency Evacuation Centre out at the Central Queensland University on the north side of Rockhampton.
What are the plans for the days ahead and what are your priorities going to be?
Well, up to now the priorities have been to ensure community safety and to look after protecting and preserving our critical community infrastructure. We're about to kick in the response plan. The response functional group has met and we're now looking at that's the recovery functional group. So we're now looking at planning the recovery. What we're going to find is that the river height will still remain very high, probably for about 36 hours. Then it will go down very slowly, probably taking about 10 days to get below 7 metres. During that period, we'll start to think about how we get people back into their homes. That'll be a high priority. But the sad thing is that many people from our community who have self-evacuated, been out of their homes for over a week, it's going to be possibly another 2 weeks before they'll be able to get back into their homes. And sadly, some of those people are going to have to clean up a fair degree of mess with the water that's come above their floorboards. Others will be more fortunate. They'll be able to move back into their homes and it won't quite be as bad as it could have been because it didn't quite peak at the level we thought it was going to.
What sort of checks will have to be carried out before people are allowed to move back into their homes?
Well, we've had over 600 properties from their electricity supplies. We got advice from Ergon Energy this morning that it's just not a simple matter of reconnecting the electricity and turning it on. In some cases the switchboards are quite old, in some cases they're not suitable to be turned back on, so you may need complete new switchboards in houses and power boards, so there's those issues to be looked at. We'll need to look at the health issues, we'll need to look at how the community can rally together to assist one another, and then we're going to have the issues of our own infrastructure, the very streets in which these houses are. How are we going to clean them, get them into a safe standard? This is the second flood peak we've had in about 3 weeks. The river peaked at 7.65 just over 2 weeks ago. It then receded and then it came up again to what we know today. So one of the things we'll find during that period as the floodwaters start to recede, there'll be a stench that will start to come into the community. That's the stench of rotting vegetation. There'll be the issues of vermin, health issues. We have been getting out a message about the importance of not walking in this water in the event that you get cuts and abrasions. We've encouraged everybody that hasn't had a tetanus shot to get those tetanus shots. So there's a whole range of community health issues which we're yet to encounter. But this recovery phase will be significant and we'll need to identify what resources will be required to get our community going again.
You've lived in this region for a long time, you know a lot of the locals. What's it been like for you during this crisis to see your community going through this and also to know the hardship that lies ahead?
Well, look, I've got to say that I've been very impressed with the community resilience, the support that our community has shown for one another. They've behaved very responsibly. The majority of people have heeded the advices that we, as a disaster management group, have been getting out to our community. And because of that, because of the discipline, the community support, everything's gone very well. I'm not aware of any serious injuries, and at this stage there has been no loss of life. So that has worked very well. And if you look on the lighter side, there are some great characters in this community, many people who have lived in these areas that become inundated with water, and to see the characters with their sense of humour supporting one another, and very rarely do I get a complaint from people about what's been done for them in this particular disaster situation.
We have been told that there may be more rainfall in the region. What might that mean?
Well, look, we don't think it's going to have any impact at all on the flooding levels unless there is significant rainfall in a local area that with a very heavy downpour, and it may cause some localised flooding. The rain that we're expecting, which could be anything from 50 to 100 mils over the next few days, it's unlikely to have any impact. But what it will create is a lot of inconvenience for these dedicated emergency services workers that are out there, the guys in the orange uniforms, the state emergency service personnel that are doing a fantastic job. The Queensland Police Service have increased their level of resourcing in this community by about 60 personnel. They've got their water police engaged, high clearance vehicles. One of the concerns that our community has raised is that when they depart from their homes and evacuate their homes, they're very concerned about criminal activity and looting. Police have really stepped up their presence. 24-hour-a-day surveillance they're providing in these low-lying areas of Rockhampton. Their presence is very well noted. Every night I've left, I've seen the presence of police. Very early in the morning at first light, you can see them driving around. And you have the water police patrolling in boats through these areas. And I've got to describe the situation this morning again as we went in boats through these flooded areas. We actually drive up the street in a boat and you say we'll turn left into East Street and then we'll turn into Bolsover Street, but you're actually in a boat. It's a strange feeling, but the number of people that were on their balconies, and as you went past, you would yell out, how's it going, how are you faring, and they'd give you the thumbs up. Again, that true Aussie spirit came through, and the amount of blue uniforms that were there indicating a great deal of confidence that their community is being looked after, and the support that we've had from the Australian Defence Force with their presence here and the relocation of Black Hawk helicopters has given this community a sense that the government, the federal government, the state government are very serious about looking after the interests and the well-being of this community.
Brad Carter, thanks for speaking to us.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure and all the best.